So gonna hit me in the head. So I'm talking to Josh. He's down in Florida, and it's like every time we go down there and we catch fish, we catch a different fish. There's so many different species of fish in the Keys, and it's crazy. It's like I'll pull in a fish. I'll be like, Josh, what is this? And he'll tell me, and I'll pull in another one, and he'll tell me it's a different fish. And sometimes I'll pull in a fish, and he won't even know what it is. There's so many different fish down there. So I was talking to him, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go fishing here. There's a lot of different fish here too. You got your kingfish, you got your whiting, you got your Virginia mullet, you got your northern kingfish, you got your southern kingfish. What about the Gulf whiting, Gulf mullet, Gulf, a lot of different fish down here. You got your shrimp gumbo, you got shrimp Creole, you got your fried shrimp. Let's go fishing. Whiting is not a hard fish to catch. All it takes is some shrimp. You can use frozen shrimp, but if you have fresh shrimp, that's going to work better. You can use clams. I like to use the ghost shrimp. You can use squid. You can use sand fleas. I mean, they'll pretty much eat anything. I like little hooks. These are 1/0 hooks because whiting have small mouths and they're bottom feeders. They have down-facing mouths. So this is a triple drop rig I bought in the store, and I use like a 4-ounce weight, and I just grab some friends and we go fishing. and they're fun fish to catch. Now, I was playing around at the beginning and talking about what they're called because whiting have so many names, but they're really called kingfish. And there are actually 3 species of kingfish. There's the Gulf kingfish, there's the southern kingfish, and there's a northern kingfish, but they all pretty much look the same. Now, most of the ones in this video, by the way, they're very slippery. Most of the ones in this video are going to be Gulf kingfish. They're pretty much silver with not a lot of markings on them, and I like to keep them if they're over like a foot, usually bigger than a foot, but there is no size regulations that I know of at this time anyway, time of the making of this video in North Carolina. So you can keep them smaller if you want, and if you have kids and you catch like a 10-inch one, you should keep it, take it home and cook it up for them because they'll be excited. But they're so plentiful that I actually wanted to try to catch some other fish. So I went to the store and I bought a fish trap, and I was like, if I can catch some mud minnows or some little pinfish, I'm going to try to catch some. See if I've heard there's some Spanish mackerel out there. I'm like, if I can cast out far enough with some live bait, maybe I can get some Spanish mackerel. So I put a can of cat food in it, and I got a stale English muffin because I was like, I don't know what they're going to eat. I opened the can, but I closed it back up so the catfish wouldn't come out, and it kind of did stay in there. And there's my stale English muffin. And I just closed it up. And it comes with like a little clip. And I'm like, I'm just going to throw it out here in the canal and see if I can catch some fish. But to my surprise, there don't seem to be any mud minnows. I guess it's too early. It is April, and it's still a little cold. And there weren't any little pinfish either, which I was surprised about. Usually, this is I had a trap last year, but it got away. I don't know where it went. But anyway, when I reeled it in, I was very surprised to see what I did have in it. First of all, the seaweed is still kind of bad. But look at this. Eels. I got a whole bunch of eels. And they kind of freaked me out. They're like a bunch of little snakes in there, and they were like little baby ones. There was one kind of a mama one, and then her like little babies, and there was this other little fish too. Here, I'll show you. So I guess eels like cat food. That's what I learned. So there's the big one right there, and then here come the 2 little ones, and there's this one little fish. It might be an oyster cracker. He's just like little, looks like a tadpole, and I kind of like didn't want to touch them, so I just kind of scurried them into the water with my finger. Here, go, be free. Go swim, get lost, blink. I'm very gentle. Well, anyway, I I thought I'd bait it back up again with a hot dog. Maybe that would catch something other than eels. So I set that back out and went back out to a mullet, kingfish, whiting. The difference is as I was saying about the different kingfish is the southern kingfish has markings on it, and there can be lighter markings, and the northern one has even darker markings. So I think the northern one is the least common to catch around here, and I think, like I said, all the ones in here are actually Gulf kingfish. Now, one of the secrets to my success when it comes to catching whiting is that I'm a pretty active fisherman. A lot of guys out there just set the bait and put the rod into the holder and just leave it there. But I actually like to do a few things which I think helps. First of all, I check the bait pretty often. Even if I put the rod in the holder, I'll check it. I won't leave it out there very long at all because these fish can just come up and they can pull the bait off and they can run away with it. So I'll check it often. A lot of times I'll actually hold the rod. I will put it in the rod holder now and then, but I'll check it. I'll check the line. I'll hold the line. and I'll hold the rod also just to see, because sometimes I just feel like tap tap tap, and then you'll have one on there, and I will look for the fish. I will find the fish. I'm trying to find where they are. How far out do I need to cast? Do I need to cast are they kind of far out? Are they kind of close up? Where are they? I try to find them, and I will force myself to try different areas. Like I'll basically throw it where I'm really uncomfortable, like 10 feet, 15 feet from the beach, like really close. And I'll be like, there's no fish there, but I'll force myself to do that because surprisingly, sometimes that's where the fish are. So I'm pretty active when it comes to fishing for these. But again, I still wanted to catch some other fish. So I went back to my fish trap. I'm like, come on, if I can get some little pinfish, some little, no finger mullet, but mud minnows or something like that. But again, I caught another eel. Actually, this might be the same eel. I don't know. He looks about the same size as the first one. And I caught a whole bunch of little snails. So there's like all these little snails in there too. I guess they like hot dogs. So here's the eel again, the second one, or maybe he's the same one. I don't know. Anyway, I let him go. I think I'm going to give up on the fish trap for a couple of weeks. I'm going to try something else. Now, mullet are pretty plentiful this time of year because they start spawning this time of year. Now, I guess they can spawn all year long, but they do start spawning this time of year. But they're not the only thing to catch in the ocean. Here's something I actually tried to catch. I saw it floating out there, and I threw the rod at it because I wanted to catch this species of fish. Actually, I wanted to get out of the open. I think it's a balloon from like a birthday party or something. You guys, we got to be careful with these type of things because the sea turtles will eat them, and they will mess up a sea turtle in a heartbeat. And I also found this little thing washed up on shore, so sometimes you can catch some unexpected stuff, and it's good just to throw it away. Another unexpected creature you probably want to watch out for this time of year is jellyfish, and these, I'm not sure what type of jellyfish they are. It might be I had a choice of a compass jellyfish or a nettle jellyfish. I'm not really a jellyfish expert, but they're not the cannonball ones. The cannonball ones you can touch. They're not going to sting you, but these guys look like they could sting. And look, they were right out in the surf, only a foot or two. So if you're wading out there, you got to kind of be careful about these little guys, because look, when the water washes up, you won't even see them. Like you can see, like when the little wave comes up, it almost like disappears or so see-through. So if you're not paying attention, you probably could run into one of those and get stung. So speaking of pay attention, you need to pay attention to your rod. Obviously, I was goofing off here and was not paying attention, and I probably got a pretty nice whiting on here because that rod bent over. Now, did I mention that whiting spawn not just in the spring, but they do spawn in the spring starting in April? And a lot of times you'll see people in boats over by Bald Head Island a lot of times and off the Caswell Beach. The fish will come in there, and I've heard it's to get away from the sharks, or they do it before the sharks come in. So that's one of the reasons that the whiting is such a popular fish in the early spring. That and puffer, but there haven't been too many puffer. Anyway, I was feeling pretty good about this whiting because obviously, like I said, the rod bent, and usually it's going to be a pretty nice fish. But when I reeled it in, I found that it wasn't so much a nice fish. It was actually two fish, double header, doubled up. And the bottom fish isn't a whiting at all. Take a look here. This is a spot. Oh, he fell off. So there you go. And not a very big spot, so he's going to go back. But if you can catch a couple of these, they make a nice little fish fry right there. So a couple other things that happened. This was an interesting double hooked croaker. This croaker not only took the first hook, but he took both hooks. So I got two hooks in his mouth. He wasn't going anywhere. I have not had a fish before actually get hooked twice. So that's a first for me. Now, this one here, again, paying attention. I was busy trying to find ghost shrimp, and all of a sudden my rod went. And so the paying attention is a very important part of fishing and active fishing. So I'm going to reel him in, and he's another nice whiting, and it's just, I'm telling you, get out there now because the whiting bite is just pretty much been on fire. Every day, as you can see, I've got different outfits on, so there's many different days here. This was a whole week. Nice little Gulf whiting. A kingfish, excuse me. Now here's another unique one right here to add to my unique catches of the week. This guy right here, I hooked him, and I was surprised because I guess he must have turned to move away from it, and I actually hooked him in the nose. So this is a nose piercing. Slippery little things, aren't they? Hard to hold on to those, but look at this. I'm going to eventually get a hold of it, and you can see I hooked him in the nose. So that's the most backwards way to hook a fish ever. So this is kind of a couple of unique fishing stories. Now, one thing I can tell you is that I did not catch the biggest whiting of the week, and it goes to Paul, who caught the biggest whiting of the week. This is my biggest whiting right here. It's just a nice size, nice, fat, plump little whiting. I'm definitely going to keep him. Now you can see he's probably touching, that's a 12-inch ruler, so he's probably touching on 14 inches, and I was pretty proud of him. Hold on to him. But Paul actually got the biggest one. He pulled this bad boy out, and I don't think you can even appreciate it in this video to see how big this fish is, because he puts it down here on the measuring stick to show me, and I didn't get a close enough video of it. But this was a citation. He put this in for his citations. So what do you do with all this whiting? Well, my wife came up with a great seafood recipe. It's a chowder recipe I'm going to show you right now. See, before we start cooking, I just wanted to show you the sink. Clean out that a little bit down there. What are you doing?
I am making a seafood chowder with some fresh fish that you caught for us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome. There's a lot of stuff going on here.
I know, I prepped it ahead of time because I wanted to go to the beach and I wanted to just kind of relax and not have to worry about doing other things.
I see stuff getting put in the dishes. That's getting put in the sink already.
Yep, that's your job, sweet pea. All right.
So there's a lot going on here. What do we got?
There's a ton going on here. Okay.
See, the number one ingredient is already filled.
All right, so we're doing...
Now what is this called? A what?
Seafood chowder.
Seafood chowder.
So this is a low-fat milk, 8 ounces of cream cheese. We have condensed cream mushroom soup.
Wow.
We have bay scallops and shrimp with tail off and deveined. Some matchstick carrots, garlic, crab meat, about a cup and a half of potatoes, about 8 ounces of calamari.
That's bait.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm actually going to cut off the tails. And then we've got some frozen clams.
Frozen? So we have to use frozen clams.
We have to because we could not get the boat onto the lift because of the tides. We're in tidal waters. And so
therefore we couldn't catch clams. There's no other way to get clams.
Well, we could go to like a seafood place, but I just got frozen ones.
All right.
We got some fresh parsley, green onions, and some corn, canned corn.
Canned corn and frozen clams.
This is the fish you caught. I'm going to cut it into chunks.
All right. Well, we'll do that and we'll pick it back up. So that's the whiting. Just chunking it up.
Yep.
I didn't catch that. Please say that again.
Alexa, we caught whiting. Alexa, how are you today?
Today, I feel like waxing poetic. Ahem. It is haiku day. Make time for a rhyme and say.
Showing off. Alexa, you're very smart.
That's nice of you to say.
You're welcome. Or Alexa, you're welcome.
I really appreciate that.
I love this. So this is the pot.
So that's about a half a cup.
Plus milk. Okay, in the pot.
Yep.
Is that fire good? I mean, I don't know how
Yeah, it's good. We want to simmer.
For simmering, okay. Got simmering. That's pretty high for simmering.
No, it's not. Well, you're kind of right. You're right. There you go. Now we're going to do
This is
cream cheese. 8 ounces of cream cheese.
That looks like more than 8 ounces.
Nope.
Let's try this one. Oop. Sorry.
I'm going to do some minced garlic.
Minced garlic. Close up.
Stop it!
So we're letting it melt and simmer. Those 3 ingredients. So it's pretty easy so far. I can do this. I mean, catching it. It's blurping it. It's blurping. The blurp.
Okay. So we've got that in there.
Yeah.
Let's mix that in.
Let's do that. So it stops blurping. What's next?
All right. So now we're going to do a can of corn.
I think we should have had used fresh corn, like off the cob.
No, this is not what it calls. It calls for a can of corn.
Who's they? Who's calling?
And without draining it, so it's kernel corn with the juice.
Oh, we got some juice in there. I see that. So now what's this?
Green onions.
Scallions.
Green onions, scallions, whatever.
Was there a difference? I don't know.
I don't think there is. I don't think there is, but maybe
some green onions in
somebody
there.
can enlighten me.
So we're not cooking anything. Everything's just going in the pot. Like you didn't pre-cook the onions or corn or anything.
No, everything goes in the pot.
Everything goes in the pot. All right, there's a lot of stuff going in the pot. This is now a seafood chowder.
Yes.
I haven't really seen any seafood go in there yet. It seems like a lot
It's
of.
going to be a while for the seafood.
It's a while for the seafood. Oh, those
Now
are
we're going to do it matchstick carrots.
matchstick. Now that is fresh parsley. Now that did come out of the garden.
Right. It came
That
out
is
of our
actually
garden.
one of the actual natural ingredients. Besides the whiting. that
I'm
came
pretty
out
proud
there.
of that.
We didn't. The corn was canned. The matchstick carrots were bagged, but the parsley is actually out of the garden.
We're going to do the remainder of
Oh.
the low-fat milk.
That's going to thin it up a little bit there. Ah, I gotcha. Okay.
We're going to put in the potatoes.
Potatoes. That's the right. So everything's just going pretty much right in. Once you got that
Yeah.
cream cheese,
That's right. And so we're going to
Those
put
aren't
these in
cooked.
and we're going to cover it for 25 minutes.
25 minutes.
And then we're going to put in the seafood.
Okay, because there hasn't been any.
We
What are
will.
we going to do for 25 minutes? We'll find something to do.
I'm going to watch TV. Some clams. And we're going to do some crab meat. Who doesn't like crab? Shrimp and scallops.
Shrimp and scallops
Bay scallops.
out of the bay.
Mm-hmm.
Got those out of the bay this morning.
Peel, devein, tail off.
With a lot of.
Let's do a little fish. Thank you, Ian, for catching this.
That's going in there.
Mm-hmm. They're in there.
Now that's probably got to sit for a little bit.
Yes, it does, for about 15 minutes. Cayenne pepper.
Where's the magic stuff?
We're not using that tonight. We're using the cayenne pepper. Use a little sea salt.
I think that's Himalayan salt.
Whatever.
I think you use more salt.
Some pepper.
I use some salt when I do it. So I got a bowl and some bread. And I gotta be honest, besides the potatoes, because I'm not a big potato person, this is incredibly good. Really good. And there's not even that much seasoning in it. She didn't put that much salt or pepper in it. Just a little bit. It's just the natural flavors of the fish. And this, I didn't even think there was going to be fish in it. The vegetables, I like the corn, the carrot thingamabobbies. Put a little bread in there. It's really good. This is like my third bowl. I've gone back for like thirds. This is so good. It's fogging up my GoPro. It's so good. So good. Oh my gosh.